Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to make an anniversary card for my husband. I take out my Misti and I am going to use this stamp set from Gina K designs called Magnificent Marigold. Putting my black cardstock in my Misti and I am going to use this big floral stamp from this stamp set. Place the stamp on the black cardstock, close the Misti door, and the stamp will stick to the Misti door, making sure the cardstock is in the right place. Prep my cardstock with anti-static powder first so that the embossing powder sticks only where the stamp is. I'm using Distress Embossing ink here. Stamp set is very delicate and large, so I will make sure that every part of it is stamped well. Pressing the whole stamp with my fingers for good impression. I will ink it up again and stamp it twice just to make sure that I don't miss any spot. Giving it a good press just to make sure every part is stamped well. It looks good now. Time to heat emboss it. Today I am going to use Gina K Designs embossing powder fine detailed gold. Putting embossing powder all over the stamp, just making sure that every part of the stamp is covered. Give it a good tap just to get rid of the excessive embossing powder. I will funnel back rest of the embossing powder into its jar before it would be all over my working space. Time to melt this embossing powder using heat gun. I will use a clothespin to hold this cardstock so that I won't burn my fingers. Off camera, I will hit it with my heat gun. And look at that, how beautiful it is. I will use microfiber cloth to get rid of rest of the anti-static powder on the cardstock and give the image a cleaner look. Look at that, how detailed and beautiful it is. Time to cut my image out. I'm not sure that Gina K Designs have its coordinating dies or not. If do, I will link it down below. But I'm going to use my Holtz Scissors to fussy cut it. I will speed it up fussy cutting process to minimize the video duration. My fussy cutting is not that fast, it's just a spread of video. It is not really very hard to fussy cut this image with a good scissor. It's really easy to do it. I usually don't like fussy cutting, but I manage it to cut it out. Fussy cutting is almost done, and I will give you a closer look of the image here in a little bit. Here is a closer look of the image. Look how detailed this image is. Due to fussy cutting, sometimes the edges of the image curl up or bend over. So here I'm using my bone folder to straighten up the edges and give a cleaner look to the image. Sometimes I like to do inside of my card base too. It shows extra love for that person, and I am using Misti for this too. Placed my card base into the Misti and I am going to reposition the image as I want it inside of the card. Just making sure what part of the image I want to stamp inside and close the Misti door. I'm using Distress Ink Scattered Straw just to give a light impression inside of the base. Ink the image up and close the Misti door. Give it a press to make sure everything is stamped well. I'm using microfiber cloth to clean up my stamp. I'm using USA A2 size card base, so the measurements of the card base is 11 by 4.25, and I will score the card base at 5.5. It would be a top folding card. After scoring the card base, I will bend it and reinforce the score line with my bone folder. Reinforcing the score line with my bone folder just to give it a good crisp score line. Time to stamp the sentiment of the card. I'm going to use Simon Says Stamps Garden Greeting stamp set. There are a lot of beautiful sentiment in this stamp set, and I'm going to use Love You for my card today. Again, I'm going to use Misti for this. I'm directly going to stamp on my card base. I will put my image first and figure out how and where I want my floral image, and then I will put my sentiment accordingly. Here I decided to put my image on the right side of the card base, and I will put my sentiment on the upper left side of the card. Adjust my sentiment and close my Misti door, and I will make sure that it is straight, and then I will stamp it up. I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink to stamp my sentiment. Ink my sentiment and stamp it. I'm not pushing it too hard here because the sentiment is too delicate and I don't want to smush it up. Clean up my sentiment with microfiber cloth, and I like to put my sentiments or images immediately back to their places before I lost them. I decided to put sentiment inside of the card base too, so I'm using the same stamp set from Gina K designs, and I'm using You Are So Special to Me for inside of my card. Placing my sentiment a little bit higher from the middle of the card. Just making sure that the sentiment is straight. Making sure the card base is in the corner of the Misti, and I'm using a Memento Tuxedo Black ink to stamp inside too. Very gently giving it a good press. I don't want to smush my sentiment because it is too delicate. Clean up my sentiment and putting it back to its place. It took me a while to figure out how this stamp set goes back. Now it is time to assemble our card. I'm going to use scrapbook.com double-sided foam adhesive to pop up my image. I use foam tape pretty generously because I love dimensions on my cards. Here I'm just making sure where I should put double-sided foam tape, just because it would be easier for me to cut the hanging image out. Just making sure that I will put foam tape on every part of the image. Releasing the backers of the foam tape here, and then I will put my image on my card base how I want it. Some part of the floral image is hanging out of the card base, so I will trim them out. Card was looking a little bit empty to me, so I will use trim pieces to give it a fuller look and place wherever they could fit. I will use foam adhesive for some parts, and some part will directly adhere to the card base. Just filling out the space with the little bits here and there. Using double-sided tape to adhere directly on the card base. Trim out the excessive image hanging out on the card base. Using double-sided foam tape for this last leaf, and I will tuck it down under that flower. Now it looks good and fuller to me. To complete the card, I will use gold sequins, and I will adhere them with craft tacky glue from Simon Systems. My jewel picker is not coordinating here with me, so I will use my fingers to put my sequins up, and I'm going to use 3 sequins on my card, 2 on the lower side and 1 on the upper right side of the sentiment. This Simon Says Stamps Craft Tacky glue is pretty strong and a little bit of it's enough to adhere them. Here is the completed card for today. Hope you like it. Give it a thumbs up. Do subscribe my channel and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any video from me. See you in the next video soon. Till then, take care and bye bye.